Previously on As the Peach Rots, presented by Dear Woke Christian.
So many people that want to defend Fani, or some of those people that want to detract from Fani, seem to get caught up in the nuance and the weeds and don't actually give. First of all, they don't deal with things they don't deal with the same things, because I guarantee you, if we could flip this conversation, reversed it.
Flip it and reverse it.
And I'm gonna call this As the Peach Turns, because it's a soap opera. Let's just tell the truth. Shame the devil. As the soap opera, as the peach turns, I could guarantee you, if we could flip this, reversed it.
Flip it and reverse it.
Into a different racial group, a different ethnicity, a different gender, or whatever like that, I guarantee you, the same people that are saying, oh no, it doesn't matter, would be pitchforking and torching, going bananas and crazy for the other team.
Torches! Pitchforks! Can't be an angry mob without pitchforks!
Greetings, valued viewers, and thanks for checking out another edition of The Independent Mail, the place where both Democrats and Republicans can find a challenging yet objective conversation. Roughly translated, I'm gonna piss off everybody. Today I'm going to be reacting to a few clips from a live that I caught earlier this week from Dear Woke Christian. Shout out to DWC. Dear Woke Christian and the Independent Mail have some channel overlap because he too sometimes covers social and political issues, but does so from a Christian lens. But wait, there's more. Dear Woke Christian and I met up at a small event held by a prominent YouTuber back in January, where we thought we may have recognized each other, only to find out that our daughters went to the same private school back in elementary. So again, shout out to Jason and Dear Woke Christian, as well as his podcast studio, The Podium, located up in Marietta, Georgia. Let's go. All right, now, before we go jump into this video, let's get the begging out the way.
Yeah, I'm licking your
Please hit that like and subscribe. I am a small channel and it helps with the algorithms. Also, if you are already subscribed, please hit the notification bell and share this with like-minded individuals. Sometimes YouTube does not immediately push my small channel videos. Rocking the bells will alert you of when I post a new video, and you will also be aiding in my channel growth. Thank you so much. I've recently been catching a lot of DWC's lives in the morning before work, along with the Do Better podcast. Shout out to Commander Coop. I'm sure Jason has seen me sometimes being a contrarian in his comment section. I'm not going to do that in this video, but I am going to add some additional observations. So let's get into the first clip.
I run a podcast studio, okay? But at the end of the day, if I were a prosecuting attorney, I would not want you to doubt or question whether or not I am going to be fair and whether or not I actually am going to do my job. Because you do understand that they've now set in place a standard that it is okay to lie. Fani Willis perjured herself. So did Nathan Wade, Terrence Bradley. They perjured themselves, and they just proved that they could lie. So therefore, they have now given a truckload of objections, a truckload of excuses to Sadow, Grandpa, and Merchant when they come back into this courtroom again with Donald Trump. This is not a good look.
The DA's office disputes that, writing that under Georgia law, only an actual conflict, proven to a high standard of proof, supports disqualification, a burden they say the defense team has not met. James said,
I guarantee you, if we could flip this whole thing as the peach turns, if we could flip this whole soap opera, reversed it.
Flip it and reverse it.
And change genders and races and the whole nine like that, and political parties, I guarantee you they would not be saying that. They would not be saying that. It would be a whole different game. The mere appearance of, but see, that's the point. Do you really want to play the game that, oh, you know, it was sort of, kind of, maybe, kind of, Is that really the game that they want to play? That's really unfortunate. Fulton County deserves better.
It's a tough question, and the answer Judge McAfee reaches could be pivotal.
There are some cases that suggest that you actually have to have an actual conflict, right? A real conflict, and I don't really think we have that here. But then there are some cases that...
So I just wonder, and I don't know this young man, I'm not saying anything about him, I just wonder if it were flipped. If it were flipped,
Flip it and reverse it.
would he be so flippant to say, oh, we really don't have one? And you'll see a much more gross example in my next video. But I'm just wondering, would they be that flippant and say, oh, no, hey, I don't know if we got one.
Suggest or say that you just need the appearance of impropriety or the appearance of something going wrong. That's a much stronger argument for the defense because they've kicked up a lot of dust, there's a lot of blood in the water.
We want to be clear here, even once a standard is decided upon, Judge McAfee still has to determine how the facts apply to it. So still a lot of moving pieces here. Signs suggest we may have some answers by the end of this week. We, of course, will be following it every step of the way.
Two quick observations on the first clip. Number one, I totally agree that some on the left and sympathizers have been working overtime to minimize the actions of the city girl DA, all while taking up the old torches and pitchforks in previous circumstances. This brings me to point number two. If I follow Jason's lead into flip mode,
Flip it and reverse it.
then let's examine who it is that's carrying the torches and pitchforks now.
Pitchforks! Can't be an angry mob without pitchforks!
A lot of them are the same people that for the past 8 years have been contorting themselves to not know what lies, morals, tax fraud, bank fraud, certain assault, and enticing the riot are. But if you show them a picture of Fani Willis, Hunter Biden, or an illegal immigrant, all of a sudden these gumshoes get their law and order back.
What do you think is the outlook?
Well, so let me start with Mr. Wade first. I don't believe that he will be disqualified, and here's why. The judge ruled preemptively that any discussions about his qualifications were going to be ruled out. So they didn't even have an opportunity to discuss that. Then the next question is whether or not there was a legitimate conflict of interest. I don't believe that there was. And what I did not hear, there was a lot of banter. It was certainly entertaining to watch these proceedings. But I think where the lawyers for the defendant in this case failed is they did not establish how, even if Fani and Mr. Wade had this relationship, how it impacted their legal rights. There was absolutely no discussion about that.
Okay, I gotta stop. Okay, Erica, I did a little bit of research. She seems like a solid lawyer here in Atlanta. All that kind of stuff. I take nothing away from her. The problem is the lyrical gymnastics that she is doing. You even saw her choke up when she wanted to say affair. Like she didn't want to say that they are having a bona fide relationship. I guarantee you, as sure as my name is Jason, she would not give this much duck and cover to anybody else. She wouldn't do this again if her pastor was involved in this. Oh, it's okay. It's all right. They didn't prove it. She would not do that. And the reason being is we're not talking about your mechanic. If Fani Willis was a mechanic and Nathan Wade was the owner of the shop, nobody would care. As long as you can turn a wrench and fill my radiator up, nobody cares. But that's not your job. Your job is to be an honest individual. What we require and need from these people is different. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to put everything, they're trying to flatten it so that, oh, the same way you treat the mailman is the same way you treat your DA. The same way you think about the person that bags your groceries at Publix is the same way you think about the special prosecutor. Nope, those are different. I don't care if my if my person that bags my groceries at Publix, I don't care about their marital status. I really don't. I do want them to be saved. I do want them to come to saving knowledge of Christ. But at the end of the day, I don't care what they're doing. Bag my groceries. And it doesn't impact their ability to do my job, to do the job that they're hired for, that I'm asking for the service. However, a DA that's dishonest and lies, a special prosecutor that stepped outside of his marriage with the DA, yeah, that might be a little bit of a problem.
Okay, 2 points on this clip as well. Number one, let's flip it and reverse it.
Flip it and reverse it.
And we can agree that both the left and the right have performed gymnastics and provided cover. But let's take a peek at what they're actually providing cover for. One side is providing cover for sexual misdeeds, much like in the Bill Clinton scenarios, while the other one is providing cover for lies, morals, tax fraud, bank fraud, certain assault, and enticing a riot. I'm sorry, it's just funny to see what both of these sides tend to be providing cover for. Just saying. Number 2, Jason is absolutely correct in his assessment that the required character of a DA is different from that of a butcher. This has been my argument for those that pop up in my comment section saying they grown, they can do whatever they want to. Now, however, that's an argument to not re-elect, not for removal. For removal, the Georgia law states high standard of proof. That's the reason why the attorneys in the previous clips were calling the removal case weak. What the defense team were trying to establish was a benefit from the prosecution or a conflict of interest. What they were using to do this were trips that Ms. Willis took with Mr. Wade via his special prosecution salary. This is kind of weak. A few trips that both can easily afford hardly establishes a benefit or a conflict of interest. Valued viewers, let me know what you all think. Aren't both parties basically jaded when it comes to members of their own party's transgressions? And could Willis and Wade easily have blown up this defense's case by not lying about the original date of the affair? What I mean is, if they were taking trips prior to being placed on the case, then the continued trips couldn't be called a benefit or conflicts of interest. Just my thoughts. Till next time, peace and stay informed.